What is up, everybody? VitalSyntax here, and this is some gameplay from the Blacklight Retribution open beta. The game's been in closed beta for a while now, and they just recently opened it up to the public, so anybody on the PC can download and test the game out for themselves. Once again, this is on PC only. It's a PC exclusive, so if you're on the Xbox 360 or PS3, you're not going to be able to play this game. The previous Blacklight game, which was Blacklight Tango Down, and I played that a tad bit on the PS3. That one was a console game, but they've switched from the consoles over to the PC exclusively, and they've also switched to the free-to-play model, which basically means that anybody can download and play the game for free, and you can level up your character through experience and unlocks, and I'll get to the unlocks in a bit because there are a ton of unlocks in this game, more unlocks than I've ever seen in any other game. And you can use your experience to purchase new attachments, change your weapon loadout, purchase new skills and things like that for your character. Or you can opt to actually pay real money and purchase those unlocks and things a lot faster without having to grind for experience. So what I did for the beta is I opted to spend, I think it was $10, and that gets you 1,000 in-game gold. And I purchased, a couple guns, souped up, attachments and things like that. Bought some camouflages, and I'll show you guys probably in another video the just extent at how many customizable parts this game has, because you can change almost anything you can think of, from the barrel, the scope, the stock of your weapon, and there's tons of different options, tons of different camouflage, and that's just the gun. I mean, you can change your character, the way he looks, what outfit he's wearing, what type of skills he has, what type of equipment you're using. So the list just goes on and on and on and on. There's a ton of content in this game as far as unlocks, and that's really where this game shines. I don't know the name of this map. I think there's a total of 2 capture the flag maps, and I think there's 2 TDM maps. I'm not sure. There's not a whole lot of maps. It is an open beta, sorry. So it's not the full game. So I do expect a lot more maps and game modes and things like that to be released, and more content and things like that once the full game comes out. As it sits right now, I believe the game types you can play are Domination, which is very similar to Call of Duty. You have 3 flags, or similar to Conquest and Battlefield. You have 3 flags, sometimes maybe even more. I've only seen 3 flags, A, B, and C, and you can capture those flags, and the longer you hold the flags, the more points you get. Then you've also got just normal team deathmatch. That's kind of self-explanatory. And you've also got Capture the Flag, which is what I'm playing right here. Capture the Flag, it's pretty self-explanatory as well. But some of the things that aren't self-explanatory is this thing right here. So what is this? Basically, this is how you spend your points that you get for killing people, for capturing flags. It's kind of similar to a kill streak, I guess, except it's not. If you get a kill, it's not like automatically given to you. Basically, if you get a kill, you might get 100 points. I don't know the exact numbers. If you capture flag, you might get 300 points. Once again, I don't know the exact numbers. And then you go up to one of these stations and you can purchase things like a flamethrower or a rocket launcher, a big mech thing that you can walk around with that has a chain gun and a rocket launcher. And I think I might get one of those later on. If not, I'll show you guys in another video. But you use your points that you get from killing people or kill assists, or capturing flags, and you can use those to purchase different things that will help your team out and help you win the game, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a good way to reward good players and give you incentives to do well. Now this thing right here, I think it's called the IRV or something. It basically lets you see through walls. It's kind of like a UAV. And when I first saw this back in Blacklight Tango Down, which they had in that game as well, it's like, wow, that thing's really overpowered or something like that, And I've heard people say that before, but really it's not at all, because it takes a couple seconds to bring up, and if you bring it up in a situation where you're going to get shot, there's nothing you can do because you can't shoot while you're in that view. So you have to be very careful when you use it. On top of that, it has a recharge rate. You can't just use it whenever you want. You can see the recharge at the bottom right corner of the screen. It only lasts for a certain amount of time. It only goes a certain distance, and it also takes a couple seconds to disengage. So if you enable it and somebody's running around the corner and you don't have time to disable, they're gonna shoot you and you can't do anything about it. So I think it's pretty well balanced, and it also just kind of makes the game a lot more fast-paced, something more like Call of Duty, because you always kind of know where everybody is. You never have to worry about camping or something like that. People can sneak up on you like that, because I never looked behind myself, even though there's 2 guys there. But I think it's a really cool gameplay mechanic, and it worked really well in the previous game. It definitely works well in this game. As far as like what I'm using here, I don't know the exact name of the weapons and whatnot, but basically what you do when you customize your loadout is you choose like what type of gun you want. You want an assault rifle, submachine gun, sniper rifle, light machine gun. So this is an assault rifle, and then you can go in and actually choose like what scope you're using. I think it's some type of holographic sight. You can choose what barrel, and they all have different stats. Like one might have more recoil, one might do more damage. You can choose different stocks, different magazine sizes that might hold more bullets but reload slower. There's just so many options, and once again I'll probably do a separate video that shows just me scrolling through how many different things you can choose from. I've also got some type of I think it's called shadow for the camouflage on this weapon. It looks really cool. So here I'm pulling out the hard suits. So basically once you get I think 1,300 in-game points, you can use this as kind of like a kill streak thing. I was about to call it in, and then I started getting shot by this guy who's the guy with the flag. So obviously I don't want to die, and then they could actually get into that thing and drive it around and take it from me. So I switched back to my primary, and I took out the guy with the flag, and I'm trying to hold these guys off. You can see I threw a grenade. The grenades are really effective, although you can't throw them very far. They do a lot of damage, and they have a pretty big splash radius. And on top of that, people move really slowly while they're aimed down their sight. And this guy catches me off guard and blows crap out of me. And I'm not sure exactly how, because so I had the mech thing and I didn't call it in. I didn't have enough time to call it in, and I was getting shot. I couldn't figure out how to pull it back out. You can see I'm trying to figure out how to pull it back out to call it back in. But what happens is if you die, you lose it. So gotta be careful there. And I didn't know that, and this is the first time I kind of figured that out. I also see I pulled out my revolver. I might pull it out again here. Yep, there it is. You can also choose different secondaries. There's one that looks kind of just like an M9 type of thing, and then there's one that looks like the 1911. The one I have looks like a revolver. It is some type of revolver. So a lot of the guns are very futuristic looking. Obviously, this is a futuristic setting in some type of downtown city area, but a lot of the guns resemble guns that you see in real life. Which is cool, and also kind of allows them to be a little more creative with having these weird weapons and whatnot. I haven't played this game a whole lot. I mean, I just got the beta, the open beta, a couple hours ago, and I probably played 10-15 games. But so far, my review, I guess, of it, or my opinions on it, is that it's really fun. It's definitely way better than the first one. I played the first one probably a total of 20 hours, so not a whole lot. And from what I played, it was an alright game. I think part of the reason I didn't like it is because of how poor it performed, because of the PlayStation 3's hardware. And no offense to any PS3 players out there, but your PS3 hardware absolutely sucks. Playing it on a PC at 60 frames per second is just amazing. I mean, look at the graphics, like the light coming in from the sun, the different bloom effects with things like that, and textures are really high quality. I mean, this game will, if I turn it all the way up with oh, you can see one of the mech guys up here. He just totally rapes me. And you can see there's a really cool death cam thing. It like zooms in on you and then it zooms in on the enemy and shows up close. But the graphics are just so good. And if I actually turn them all the way up with anti-aliasing and ambient occlusion, this game actually will like destroy my graphics card. Not destroy it, I guess I shouldn't say that, but it will run at like 40 frames per second. It won't run at 60. Which is pretty amazing, like how demanding this game is. It doesn't look the best. I mean, sure, there's better games out there as far as graphics go. There's plenty of other games that look better, but it's really good, and it's way better than the previous one, which is kind of what I'm comparing it to. Some of the things that I didn't like about the game are, I don't know. I think the characters move a little bit too fast. I played against a couple of higher level players that had really light armor on, so they don't have as much health, but they move super fast. And they had submachine guns, so they move super fast, and they just hip fire, and they just go back and forth really, really fast, and it's impossible to hit them. I personally don't like that type of gameplay. I like to be more tactical and more aim-based instead of just like speed-based. Another game I really did that kind of had the same mechanic that was really, really fast-paced it was actually a free-to-play game. It was called Combat Arms, and I stopped playing that game. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. I stopped playing that game because it's just so frustrating because people would go like 200 miles per hour back and forth. Now, in a game like Tribes Ascend, where you're going like 200 miles per hour, which if you haven't heard of Tribes Ascend, you guys got to check that out as well. I'll probably do some more videos covering that game because I've only done, I believe, 1 or 2 on that. And I actually call in my hard suit here. It's pretty cool. Like, drops it from the sky, but I ran out of time right before it came in. But I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, we won the game with 3 flag caps to 0. I got first place. You can see my character up there in the front. He's look pretty badass. I got this sweet like skull mask. Got all like black camo and whatnot. I believe I went like 12 and 6 deaths and 11 assists. So pretty good. I'm definitely not very good at this game in comparison to you know, some of the better players, but you know, that's because I just started. I didn't really play the first one all too much. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, remember to leave a rating or a favorite, and go check out the game if you want to try it out for yourself. All right, see you later.